So yes, now we are starting with the webinar. So good afternoon, everyone. We heartily welcome Prapti ma'am, teachers, parents, and my friends. This webinar, I am not alone, is basically part of our project, the Edificators. For further information, you can all visit the website link, which I will paste in chat box in some time. So basically, the Edificators is an initiative taken by students of Navrashna Vidyani Vidyalaya under Yuwaah Challenge to help students overcome the stress and anxiety caused due to the pandemic. Uh, I Am Alone webinar is organized to boost up the confidence of students and build up the attitude of I can, we can. So this session will be conducted by Miss Prapti Suriya ma'am, who is a clinical psychotherapist. She has done her masters in clinical psychology, and she is a REBT practitioner, that is rational emotive behavioral therapy practitioner. She is also pursuing an arts based therapy practitioner's course. She is keen on studying more about Buddhist philosophy and positive psychology. She wishes to take trainings which help in preventing any type of mental illness also. A quote she really resonates with is, we all are complete and have potential to face our challenges. When we go through it, we actually grow through it. So now she will be starting with the session. Before we start, the following are few instructions to be followed. Those who have any type of queries or any kind of doubts can write them in chat window, and also I request everyone to stay muted and kindly don't create any disturbance. So now I request Prapti ma'am to take over. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much, Suzy, ma'am. And I don't know this. I hope I'm audible to everybody. First of all, yes.
Yes, ma'am, you are. Yes, ma'am, you are.
So I've always been on, I think, that side things are related to Vidhyani, but now being on this side feels really different. And I totally understand how things have changed due to the pandemic. So before going ahead, if there is, yeah, just as Ansh said, if there's any doubt, you can put it in the chat box and we can have a little question answer session post I'm done with explaining whatever that I want to explain. And yeah, so let's begin. I will just share the screen. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I think it will just take a minute to upload. So by the time, yeah, this already has started. By the time this starts, so we have, as I heard Ansh, we have students as well as parents in the session, right? Yes, ma'am.
I if they're sitting with the children, yes, then otherwise teachers are there and definitely children are there.
Okay, okay, great. So, yeah, if so this is not, I would say this is not just limited to the children, but to everybody who's listening to the presentation today. And I definitely want to say that I'm not alone, and definitely you are not alone. We all are together in the situation that we're facing right now. Okay, so to start with, I would like to ask that, what thoughts do you have in the current situation? Like, I have given a few examples. If there's anything more, you can mention in the chat box that there is this constant thought or this in this current situation that I'm absolutely terrified to go outside, or I constantly feel I will get the virus. I wash my hands repeatedly. I see threat everywhere, and I'm constantly worried about what next. Right, so these are the thought patterns that are going on right now because going outside is a threat, and facing a virus is a threat. And we're constantly worried of this unpredictability that has come into our picture, that I don't know what next is going to happen. right? So these are the few thoughts that, I was watching a clipping, and there was an interview going on, and people have constantly reported of how, they have uh, their thinking pattern has changed drastically. So moving forward, it has gotten a lot of, in the picture of our life, a lot of fear has come up because of the pandemic, that we are constantly worried about what is going to happen, how things are going to turn up. So this fear has got very close to our lives, and has started living in our life right now. So, but in the studies of psychology and evolutionary studies, say that, they explain that fear is also there to help us survive. So how is it helping? Now, if I have to explain you how evolutionary we are built up, if we see any threat, we are constantly we become very alert. Say for example, why is that, we all hate karelas? Because it is bitter in taste, and we constantly are made up in that way, in the evolution, that कुछ भी खराब चीज है, we will not go for it. So कुछ भी कड़वी चीज है, we will not go for it. So that is why we evolutionary we've been built up that way. We are wired that way to see the threat, because that is helping us survive in the dangerous situation. So fear helps us prepare for danger, and it helps us follow the rules. It's only because that we have fear, we are keeping social distancing, we are wearing masks, we are washing hands, and we are staying home. So why is that? Why are we following these rules? Somewhere the fear is there that, I don't want to get the virus. So that is why that is how the fear is helping. But fear that starts out to be productive can stack up. Now, okay, if once in a situation you face fear, you kind of get okay with it. But once it starts stacking up, when the pile is growing of the fear, because now there is, it's not just pandemic which is going on. We have uncertainty कि आगे क्या होगा. We have constant rising of cases. So we've not been able to meet, our friends, our family, extended family. So now this fear has started. It's stacking up. So once it starts stacking up, it is no more productive. It is not helping us. So, this is something that I would like to say, that why we are not alone is that what we are facing now is that we are all more than same than different. Why? Because we have similar fears, we have similar hopes, and we have similar dreams. We have hopes that the pandemic will get over. We have fear of the pandemic, and we have dreams that once everything is over, we'll get back to normal. Right? So, because why is that similarity coming in? Because rarely in history, so many of us have faced the same crisis all at once. So if I remember, or whatever that I've read, it was 100 years back that we got something called a Spanish flu, and 100 years later on we're getting something called as coronavirus, right? So the stress many of us are experiencing right now could stay with us long after the pandemic is over. Right, so the studies have shown that the stress that we experience right now is something that might stay longer. The reason is, as we walk through the process, we get to know that why is, stress, even after the stressful situation is gone, the stress still remains, because our body has started reacting that way. So once we learn about our body and the mechanisms involved in our body, that will help us explain better that even after the pandemic is over, why will this stress still remain? So, what do we do? Even if the stress is remaining, once the pandemic is over, what are we going to do? Okay. So, what we have in the picture is the uh, coping, which is preventative care. As Ansh correctly said, that I am somebody who wants to take care of, the mental illness instead of dealing with mental illness. So I believe that, if we start taking care of ourselves right in this situation before anything extreme happens, we can save ourselves from a lot of dangerous things, right? So this is what coping means, that small things we do today can help protect us in the future. So what does that look like? How do we cope? Now, if I've been talking about, we have to cope and we should take care of ourselves, that is what other people have been telling us. So how do we do it? Before going to that state, we'll understand, as I was saying, that how our body is wired to behave in a situation when a situation is of calmness, and when the situation is of stress. So, calmness is a state of balance, and stress is the opposite. So, the more calm you are, your body has a very different reaction to it. And the more stressed you are, your body again will have a very different reaction to it. If you can see over here, as I've put into pictures, one is a state of calmness where the person is in a state, has a very clear vision, and a person who's in the state of stress will have a very emotional, turbulent, and will have a very cloudy vision, not being able to see clearly. So coping means to restore the state of balance. So calmness, if calmness is a state of balance, coping is something that we retain that state with us and we learn how to do that. And learn how to so now we look at the system that controls it. So as I was saying, that how our body is wired, we'll have a look at it, that how the system, when we are facing a stressful situation, how is our body wired, and when we face a very calming situation, how is our body wired. So I'm sure people who, if we have 11th and 12th graders with us and they've taken up psychology, they must have studied this, because our body has something called as, all of us know that we have brain and we have nervous system in the spinal cord, and nervous system has two types of actions. One is, if I have to say, it is autonomic nervous system, and one is uh, so in the autonomic nervous system, I will not go in the other part because that might confuse you further. So in the nervous system, when we have autonomic nervous system,